I'm here in my kitchen with the ingredients to make some black eyed peas. So right here I have some of the spices I'm going to use. I have some cayenne, some turmeric, some ginger, and some sea salt. Right here I have, like, these are heirloom tomatoes. That's why they're like a bunch of different colors. Heirloom tomatoes come in a wide variety of colors. As you can see, I have some bell pepper, I have a shallot, and I have some bok choy, and of course I have some black eyed peas. So let's get started. Okay, so right here I have my heirloom tomatoes, and what I'm doing with these is I'm going to just kind of cut them, and I'm putting them into my blender because I'm going to use these tomatoes as the base for my black eyed peas. Now, you don't have to use tomatoes, but I kind of like the tomato base, and I'm not using any meat or anything like that. So I like the flavors that these tomatoes in particular give for the base or for the liquid. So some people add water, or they do different kinds of broths or whatever. I'm going to use tomatoes. So I'm just kind of cutting these up, and I'm going to just puree these in my blender. You don't really have to cut them. Sometimes I do them whole, but look at that. Look at the inside of that. Isn't that beautiful? I love using heirloom tomatoes. Of course, they have a season, so you can't get them year round, but like when their season does come around, like, wow. Okay, so I have some of the tomatoes in my blender, and I'm just going to turn this on high. My tomatoes are kind of big, so that's where this tamper comes in handy, and just kind of push them down. Okay, so I had like a little piece of onion that I had in the refrigerator, so I'm just throwing it in here with my tomatoes. And sometimes I add this to my tomato base sauces just to kind of give it a little bit of extra flavor, and I just puree the onion along with the tomato. So I'm just adding the rest of this to my crock pot, and so you see it's pretty, I say it's probably about 3/4 of the way. Okay, so I have my peas, and I'm adding them about a cupful at a time. Usually I just kind of dump them in there, but since I'm filming this, I just kind of want to give you an idea of how much I'm adding. So far that was like 2 cups of peas. And I'm just going to give this a stir, to kind of get those. So remember, your peas and beans and stuff, they do expand. So you don't want to put a ton of them in here, and then they expand so much that they're like stiff and sticky and dry, and you don't have enough space to add the amount of liquid that you need. And since I'm adding some other vegetables in here, like my bok choy and stuff like that, and my shallots, I don't want to have, I don't want it to be too full. Like that for right now, and then I'm going to finish prepping, put a lid on it, have it on high as I said, and I'm going to finish prepping the rest of the ingredients. Okay, so I have two, I don't know what heads or 2 bunches of some bok choy that I'm going to add to my peas, but I'm not going to add them now because it takes the peas a while to cook. So what I just do is I just kind of get these ready to add. And I don't do anything special, just kind of cut it, like this. I mean, you can cut it as big or as small as you want it, but I kind of like to do that and give it a little rough chop. So I'm going to add these to my peas probably when they're about like halfway done. So, because if I add them now, that, you know, I'm just kind of like putting it, you know, in my bowl. So if I add them now, they're going to be like really like overly cooked, I think. So, you know, I still want to be able to tell what kind of vegetable it is. And now I'm going to cut up this shallot. Now I just happen to, I'm using a shallot this time, but you know, like times in the past I've used like onions or just, you know, really, you know, you really can just get creative with this. It doesn't have to be, you know, one particular way. And I've used meat in the past, but like I didn't really, since we're having the roast duck, I didn't want to just like, you know, have like a ton of different things with meat in it. So I wanted to keep my black eyed peas vegetarian. So, and my hubby is a vegetarian too. So I'm just going to chop these shallots. Not really chop them, but just kind of like more slice them, you know, like that. Okay, so I have my, I think I call these green onions, but I mean these are bell peppers. So I have 2 medium-sized bell peppers that I just chopped off camera, and I'm throwing those on top, and I'm just giving this a stir. Now is when I like to add my seasonings. I see that my liquid is how I want it to look for right now to get it started, and I'm just going to grab my seasonings and throw it in here. So like right here I have some ginger. Like you don't have to do this, but like I just pretty much, that was probably about a good tablespoon or so. I have my, oh sorry, the sun is shining through my kitchen. So I have my cayenne. I don't use a lot, so you can just kind of like eyeball it. Depends on how spicy your family likes things. My children don't mind. Right here I have my some turmeric. So I'm just kind of, you know, I'm just really eyeballing this stuff. So whatever seasonings you like, whatever seasonings, you know, your family likes or whatever. And then I have like my black pepper. So I don't add salt. I just want to show you the type of salt that I have. My can you see that? This is sea salt. I don't add my salt now because, like, you know, salt tends to, you know, dry things out, and because it's not like it's meat and I need to, it's going to cook fast or anything like that. So I don't want my my peas just sitting in a bunch of salt. So I kind of tend to add that more near the end, but I do want to add my other seasonings in because, you know, I just want to get those flavors all married together in there. So like I said, I have my crock pot on high. The liquid looks like how I want it to look. I'm going to cover this like this, and I'm just going to set it and forget it. So I'll probably check this, I don't know, maybe in about another 40 minutes, you know, maybe an hour or something like that. And then I will come back and see what it's looking like. Okay, so my peas, you can see that they have swelled up quite a bit. So I think they've been cooking for about 30 minutes. I don't need any more. My peas have been, you can see my peas have swelled up. They've been cooking for about 30 minutes. So I don't need any more liquid still at this time. So, but I do kind of like to give them a stir, you know, just to keep it. I'm going to put the lid back on again and let it go for about another 30 minutes. Okay, so you can see my peas are coming along nicely. They've been cooking for about an hour, and oops, let's lift that up a little bit. And so now this is the bok choy that we cut up earlier, and I'm just dumping all of this inside over the top. And probably about now, you know, once I like stir this, okay, so I just knocked my camera and then my hand touched this hot crock pot. Yeah, so So I'm just, I'm stirring this all around. And they actually smell really good too. And now I'm just going to put in a little bit of salt to kind of, give it a little bit more flavor. So I just kind of want to get this really incorporated. So this thing is hot. My other crock pot didn't get hot on the outside like that. I might have to yeah, I might have to invest in a different crock pot, because I shouldn't burn myself on the outside of this damn thing. Okay, so didn't add too much salt. And you see, I'm just I'm stirring it around and stuff, stirring the salt around. And you can add more seasonings also if you want. So I like to season my food, but I don't like to overly do it, because I would like to actually taste the food and not just taste a whole bunch of salt and pepper. So I actually want to taste the bok choy and taste my peas and stuff like that. Oops, my little bugger. Okay, so got that down, still on high, and I'm going to cover this and check it again in about 45 minutes. Okay, so it's been, look at that, it's been a while. I don't even know how long it's been, because I've been busy doing other stuff. And okay, just going to put the camera up a little bit closer so y'all can get a really good look. So I wish that this, I always say I wish that this stuff had smell-o-vision, because seriously, that's my son in the background. This stuff smells so good. Yes. I have no idea what he's doing. But so this is what you want your peas to look like. Amari, I have to kind of calm him down sometimes. So they're not quite done, but they're getting there. So, and I have just enough liquid, not just enough, but I have the amount of liquid that I want. Let me see, let me do it right here where it's not, can you see? So I don't have to add any more, because I don't want it to be watery. I don't want it to be like a soup. So I don't have to add any more liquid or anything like that. Like, they move around easily in the pan, as you can see. So this is like just the right amount of liquid. So I'm going to put my lid back on here and let these babies go for about another 45 minutes. Okay, I'm back. Actually, I didn't have to let these go for another 45 minutes. Once I kind of checked them, I tasted the bean. They actually tasted done. So it's only been about like 10 minutes or so. I did add a bit more salt, because the beans, I keep calling them beans, peas, they look how I want them to look. And I just added a bit more salt, because they're pretty much done. So I don't feel like, I'm going to dry them out or anything by adding more salt. So I'm just going to try to get in so you can kind of see, how they look. Kind of like get the camera in close. And, you can see the juice that I have in there. It's not too juicy, like they move around easily, and it's not too dry. You can see like my bok choy and stuff that's in there, and these things smell really great. I tasted one of the beans, like I said before, and a little bit of the bok choy, and I mean, it's delicious. So This is just a different way to like cook black eyed peas, where you know you don't have to use like any of the meats. I mean, you can if you want to, but you can definitely make these vegetarian and have them turn out just as delicious, and your family will enjoy it. So if you give this recipe a try, let me know, or you know, let me know how your family enjoys their black eyed peas. Thanks for watching.